My name is Maria José Guzmán Monsalve. I am 37 years old. I live in Tartu. I live here in the basis of a temporary residence permit, and I have been living 5 years in Estonia. I came to Estonia for a research visit in November of 2020 during coronavirus times, since it was one of the few places where on-site research was being done in my field of specialty. In July of 2021, I got a postdoctoral grant from the Estonian Research Council, and in that way I joined the Institute of Physics of the University of Tartu, and in January of 2024 I started doing research with a starting grant from the same Research Council, and since then I've been doing research at the university. I have been supervisor of several students, local and international, and I have taught in some English-speaking advanced physics courses. My field of specialty is general relativity, Einstein's general relativity, and cosmology and black holes, and all the physical phenomena that we can describe with this theory, and I also study how to go beyond the theory. At the beginning, the main struggle was, of course, the weather, for which I was clearly not prepared, so I had to learn how to dress properly for the level of cold that is here. Also had to learn how to keep the mood up during winter. I gradually started having a more healthy life, going to the gym, joining to social events more, because I am naturally an introvert person, and everything was exciting at the beginning. Everything was new, and I was able to make some friends at the beginning. However, those friendships at some point left the country because they didn't come to stay for the long term. And I think the main struggle nowadays is to form long-lasting relationships, long-lasting friendships. Although I have a local couple, it is still difficult, I think, to meet, to relate, to meet new people, new friends that intend to stay in the country for the long term. And I think this is also probably a problem of the modern times, to be able to do friendship, and also part of my work, where I have had to move to several countries before arriving here. And culturally there are also some problems, let's say some problems that one faces as a foreigner. Although I came to Estonia for the first time in 2018 for a conference, and I think I knew what I was coming to. Still, I think these cultural shocks, they become less over time, also because in my profession we are very well exposed to a lot of different cultures. So at some point you learn how to, you learn more to be more tolerant, and you also learn things about yourself that you can improve as a person and in your relationships with other people. Another struggle that we all foreigners face here is the language, of course. Estonian is a very difficult language, although very beautiful. It sounds very beautiful. And fortunately, in my case, the university provides us with courses. So I think at the beginning I didn't know if I was going to stay for the long term, so I didn't attempt to learn more than the basic Estonian. But then over time it became clear that I was going to stay for the long term, so then I started attending the courses. And professors have a lot of patience, and they know that they have a very hard mission. So I'm very grateful to all the professors that were teaching me. And over time, and well, after let's say a couple of years of efforts, I was feeling that I was understanding more to people, more in the streets, more in the websites where information is in Estonian only, and that I think it made me feel much more integrated. And I think the final test is when you are on the street and someone talks to you in Estonian and there is no other choice, you have to speak in Estonian. And I think helping people and getting help from people, and I think that has made a great difference, at least for me, to being able actually to speak some Estonian. So you realize that all the efforts that you have done, getting educated in learning the language, they have their results. Finally, I contribute to the Estonian society and also to the overall humanity with my knowledge. I contribute as an academic and intellectual. I feel I help. I have a role in helping nowadays, and probably in the future more when I can speak Estonian fluently, to form a new generation of scientists in gravitational, in theoretical physics, in science in general, to learn the scientific method and to do research. And since I have a different cultural background, I come from Latin America, from Chile specifically, and also in physics I am a minority. It is an environment traditionally dominated by men. So these difficulties that I have faced during all my life, now maybe a little bit harder because I'm also from a different cultural background, not only just a woman. And also like all the difficulties that I had to face from like the perhaps poor education when I was little, and poverty. So you could say that I serve like some sort of role model for minorities, at least in STEM, in science. And I think that my experiences in life and my experience with multiculturalism, they give me the tools to teach students and in general to all people, to help the students navigate the harsh reality of academia, and perhaps to create an environment where they feel more confident and they can ask me confidently, let's say, questions. They don't have fear of being judged. And I think these different personalities, let's say, what you could say, what is the standard stereotypical personality in Estonia, I contribute to some variety. And I think diversity is of course always good. And I hope I can find other ways to contribute to society too. And let's see what's in the future.